する忠誠無比なる奮陣任務の記念すべき一周忌をここに私たちはお祈りするために、深く頭を垂れて厳粛なる気持ちのうちに集うておる一同でございます。思い起こせば1年前のこの時、まさにあの日の出来事は全世界の宿たちに強烈なる衝撃的な出来事として現れてまいりました。私たちは徹底的なる悔い改めを強いられながら、そしてなおかつ我々の今日までの信仰生活のすべてを根底から正していかなければならないという、そういう重大なる日となったことを今思い起こしておる一同でございます。まさに奮陣任務は天中の孝行者の私たちの鏡であり、そしてまた忠誠心の規範でございます。その奮陣任務が限りなく愛し、そしてひたすらにお守り続けた誠のご父母様、特に誠のお父様を、私たちはこともあろうに奮陣任務が昇天されたその後においてダンベリーにお送りするというような誠に親不孝者であるということを今更ながらのごとくに我々は悔い改める次第でございます。送ってはならない場所に送ってはならないお方をお送りしてしまった私たちの罪は万死に値するものでありました。どのように悔い改めても過ぎることは決してない立場でございます。もし我々が万死に値すると自覚をしたとするならば、その自覚をしたものから率先してまさに死を決意してあなたの身旨を勝利しなければならない、ここに集える者たちは共通なる運命に担わされておる者たちでございまして、我々はまた今日新たなる決意を持って出発せんとするものでございます。今日私たちは神の日の良き日にお父様から愛のメッセージをいただきました。祖国創建、いずれの国が誠のご父母様を生計ともにお迎えすることができるや否や、今まさしく私たちは一列に並んでスタートを切る、そういう戦いの今出発点でございます。この時にまた奮陣任務の一周忌をこのようにお祈りをするひとときをいただきました。我々はもはや何も考えることなく、ただ一つ残された道を歩んでいく以外の何者でもないのでありまして、どうぞ我々をしてさらに勇気を、さらにまた力をお与えくださいまして、あなたの御国を一日も早くこの地上に実現するために、今日まで1984年は実に奮陣任務のお働きは国境を越え民族を越えて大いなるお働きをなしてくださったことを私たちはよく知っておるのでございます。この小さきものも少しばかりの経験でございますけれども、絶対に疑うことのできない奮陣任務のお働きを目の当たりに実感した一人のものでございます。1984年日本に課せられた天からの至上命令は、勝共運動において大いなる勝利をなすことでございました。韓国におけるアダム国家における誠のご父母様のご勝利を相続して、エヴァ国家に定着せしめなければならない天地の行動を我々は出発をした次第でありますけれども、奮陣任務にお祈りを捧げて勝共講演会を行うたびごとに140回の年を回ったその勝共講演会におきましては、いずれの場所におきましても不思議にも全ての人々が心霊に満たされ、心霊を引き上げられ、やがて自ら立ち上がっていくその姿を見るときに、誰が何と言っても奮陣任務のお働きを信ぜざるを得ないものとして、これから1985年はさらに大きな高い広い意味におきまして、奮陣任務が全世界に向けて天かけて働いてくださることを私たちは固く信じておる者たちでございます。あの時昭和されたあの時に、このニューヨークの周辺は2時間前から音もなく真っ白な雪が降り積もってまいりました。 瞬く間にこのニューヨークの各都市を清めていかれたその雪のごとくに、粉塵任務はまさに白馬にまたがってペガサスのごとくに天かけて、霊界の優勝として誠のご父母様の贈られた大使として見事なるお働きを今続けておられることでございます。私たちも今日また新たに決意をいたします。いずれはまた粉塵任務のおそばにおいて、粉塵任務の命令のもとに我々もまた天地を駆け巡ってあなたの身旨のために働きとうございます。勝利したい気持ちでいっぱいでございます。そういう決意を持って今日これから私たちは重大なる御言葉を賜ります。その一言一句を自らに受肉して、新たなる信条を持って、よみがえり生まれ変わった信条基準を持って、今日から堂々たる勇者として出発することができますように、このすべてを導いてくださらんことを切にお願い申し上げる次第であります。今日このように誠のご父母様をお迎えしての一周忌を我々がこうしてお祈りを捧げることができるということは、なんというありがたいことでございましょうか。もしダンベリーにお父様をお送りしたままお母様を一人だけで一周忌が行われるとしたならば、私たちは本当に苦しいのでございます。悲しいのでございます。しかし今日は苦しい中にもこのようにして恵まれた一日を私たちは持つことができまして、天の前に心から感謝を捧げる次第であります。ダンベリーの牢獄の中でお父様が最も愛する、また最もお父様を愛した粉塵任務の一周忌を送らなければならないということは、子を持つ親としてという立場だけを考えてみても到底耐えられることではございません。今日私たちはこのような恵まれた立場におきまして、誠のご父母様をお迎えすることができたというこの感謝と感激は、もはや過去にもなく未来にもありえない永遠に記念すべき一周忌として、粉塵任務とともに心から感謝を捧げたい次第でございます。このようにしてありがたく感謝のみである。そして私たちはどんな命令をされても潔く死を決意して出発するのであるという、そういう決意を持ってこのセレモニーを出発したいと考える次第でございます。どうぞそれらのすべてが天の御心のままになされますようにと心からお願い申し上げまして、このお祈りを誠のご父母様の皆を通じてあなたの御前にお捧げいたします。アーメン。
It is now my privilege to invite Dr. Bo-hee Park to offer a tribute to precious Hung Jin-im.
From 12 o'clock high noon, father and mother and a true family, surrounded by representative of blessed couple from the different countries, conducted the first year memorial service of the World Seonghwa ceremony of Hung Jin-im Moon. This is second public service. You'll be privileged to listen to Father's message very shortly. I would like to take this opportunity to share with you some brief life Hung Jin-im lived here on the face of the earth, and some of the elements and characters and some of the things we would like to memorialize today. Hung Jin-im, the son born to our true parents, is now the king of the spirit world. Hung Jin-im was born on December 4, 1966, or October 23rd by the lunar calendar at midnight 0033 a.m. He was born at Cheongpa-dong Unification Church headquarters in Seoul, Korea. He attended kindergarten in Korea and entered primary school in March of 1973. On December 23rd of the same year, he came to the United States to join the true parents and other brothers and sisters. He continued with his primary education in upstate New York, enrolling at Hackley School in February 1974. He advanced to middle school at Hackley in September 1978 and graduated in June 1980. On September 1980, he entered Hackley High School and later transferring to Irvington High School in February 1981. He was in the senior class at Irvington when his completely unexpected accident occurred on December 22nd, 1983. On January 2, 1984, Hung Jin-nim entered into heaven, into the state of Seonghwa. Hung Jin-nim Moon lived his life on earth exactly 17 years and 29 days. Hung Jin-nim was a handsome young man. He quickly grew to a height of 180 centimeters and carried himself with grace and stateliness. He was healthy, energetic, and athletic, excelling in all types of sports. And he was a gifted, fine artist who was especially talented in drawing and painting. Several of his works are framed and maintained as museum pieces under mother's care. Hung Jin-nim was friendly, passionate, and always considerate of others. He enjoyed a deep friendship with many and cared for them with a true sense of brotherhood. He was truly and deeply loved by the true parent and intimately loved and respected by his brothers and sisters. Indeed, Hung Jin-nim set the example as a son of filial piety. The fatal traffic accident occurred on Highway Route 9 between Poughkeepsie and Hyde Park, New York, on the cold, slippery winter day of December 22nd, 1983. Father and mother were in Korea for a nationwide speaking tour. Father and mother received a report of the traffic accident of Hung Jin-nim on December 23rd in Seoul time. Yet, father and mother remained at their mission following their victory over communism speaking schedule until December 27th. Immediately upon completing their mission, father and mother left directly for the airport. They arrived at the JFK Kennedy Airport on New York on 7:10 p.m. on the same day of December 27th and drove directly to St. Francis Hospital in upstate New York. On December 31st, 1983, at 7 p.m., Father conducted the unification ceremony with the true children, of course mother, true children, some of the 36-plus couple, representative of Korea, Japan, the United States, and Germany. By then, Father knew that Hung Jin-nim's sacrifice was decisive and offered it on the altar of God for the sake of unification. On January 2nd, 1984, at 1:15 a.m. at St. Francis Hospital, Hung Jin-nim ascended into heaven and rested in the Seonghwa state. On January 3, 1984, Father declared the day of victory of love based upon the sacrificial, victorious life of Hung Jin-moon, who was then to become the king and a commander-in-chief of the spirit world. On January 8, 1984, at 9 a.m., the World Seonghwa ceremony of Moon Hung-jin-nim was conducted at the Little Angel Performing Arts Center in Seoul, Korea, where representatives coming from 72 nations of the world, over 1,500 guests attended. At the same time, in Belvedere, True Parent held a memorial service on the same day at 2 p.m. The Wonjeon ceremony, which is equivalent to burial ceremony, was conducted in Paju, Gyeonggi Province. On January 10, 1984, at 10 a.m., the Samwoo ceremony, which means third day memorial service, was conducted at Wonjeon site. From that day on, Unification Church worldwide observed 40 days of special period for resurrection of Hung-jin-nim. On February 13, 1984, the holy engagement ceremony of Hung-jin-nim was conducted with Hun-suk Moon at East Garden. The holy wedding of Hung-jin-nim with Hun-suk Nim was conducted at Belvedere, officiated by the True Parent on February 20, 1984, together with the holy wedding of In-jin Nim and Jin-sung Nim. The wedding celebration banquet was held at the Manhattan Center that evening. I would like to quote a paragraph from the Seonghwa message, which I delivered as a chairman at the World Seonghwa ceremony in Seoul, Korea. I said, Hung-jin-nim one time said, I quote, "I can die in place of my father. The only regret I would have would be that I could not be blessed and that I would be dying at such a young age. However, what greater thing could there be for me than dying for father?" Jin Bok and Jin Gil, who were in the car with Hung-jin-nim at the time of the accident, reported in testimony, I quote, "Hung-jin-nim died in order to save our lives. The car Hung-jin-nim was driving was not at fault. A truck that was driving in the opposite direction skidded on the slippery road, crossed the center line, came straight toward Hung-jin-nim's car. If Hung-jin-nim, who was driving, had veered to the left in moment reflection, he would have been only slightly injured, and Jin Gil would have been killed instead. Even though he knew the risk, he veered to the right, exposing himself and taking the terrible impact upon himself. By doing so, he saved life of Jin Gil instead of himself. In a speech mother gave when she was sharing her heart at Belvedere on January 3rd, 1984, she said, I quote the mother's word, "When Hung-jin was born, he went through incredible trauma for 3 days. Many people thought Hung-jin could not make it at birth. He was going through the cross at his birth, but at his death I knew he was chosen to do a more sacred mission than anyone under the sun could think of, dying for the sake of Father." So mother said, I was so deeply, deeply grateful. I said to my son, "Hung-jin, you are my beloved son. You lived out your life in filial piety, patriotism, and a total purity." So mother continued, "Now it is a reality. Hung-jin is in spirit world. He went up to spirit world as a most sacred sacrifice for us all. First of all, Hung-jin's life expelled the danger that is coming to Father. Secondly, Hung-jin's going up to spirit world bring the two worlds together, spirit world and the physical world, centered upon true parent family, because I know that Hungjin will do his absolute best to fulfill Heavenly Father's and true parent wishes in spiritual world by mobilizing the entire forces that will definitely bring down spiritual world focused on the true parent dispensation, unquote. These has been the word of true mother at the Belvedere. Father, on same day, said at his message of Day of Victory of Love on January the 3rd, 1984, I am now quoting the word of the Father. Father said, I alone had faith. I alone went out, won the victory, and restored the faith in the Christian church, the national government, and the unification church. Therefore, there was no room for Satan to attack me personally, but he could attack Hungjin, who occupied the position of the living Jesus in the unification church. What kind of victory are we going to win through the sacrifice of Hungjin? Father asked, and he answered, the unprecedented unity will emerge between father and mother, between the true parents and the true children, among the true children between unification church members and the members and the true parents, between Christianity and all other religions, and between the spiritual world and the physical world. Then true Father continued, we are going to pledge to God and true parents that Hungjin's spirit is now ours, and that his battle is our battle. His mission is our mission. By doing so, we will vindicate him. These has been the word of true Father on the January the 3rd, 1984, upon the declaration of Day of the Victory of Love. When Hungjin Yim's body was lying in state in Belvedere, a beautiful satin cloth inscribed with a poem was placed in the casket by Yejin Yim and Hyojin Yim. And that particular poem Father himself had written. And those words are following. We, Hungjin in Korean, 전성 봉헌 충효지신 영원 안식 천은 대해. For Hungjin, I want to offer to the heavenly city the son of loyalty and filial piety with an ocean-like love for heaven. Please let him rest in eternal peace. January the 2nd, the 1984, Daddy and Mommy. That is the translation. Today, 1 year anniversary of Hungjin Yim's Seonghwa ceremony, we all pray that God's blessing be bestowed upon Hungjin Yim abundantly. May he be a champion of our true parent forever, and the commanding general to all of us who follow the ideal of our true parents. Hungjin Yim 만세, 훈숙 님 만세. Finally, 참 부모님 만세. Thank you very much.
Now, please, once again, let us welcome our Father.
오늘 이 시간은 우리 흥진 군이 돌아간 지 일주일을 맞으면서 추가에 나눠서 지금 이 시간을 갖게 되어 있습니다.
This hour, Father would like to commemorate the 1 year anniversary of Hungjin Yim Seonghwa ceremony.
세상으로 말하면 이해할 수 없는 이런 내용이 여기에 개되어 있던 거 여러분이 먼저 이해해야 되겠습니다.
From the worldly point of view, there are certain things they could not understand. Some certain things they would never understand what we do here.
그것은 연계가 어떻게 발전하고 연계가 어떻게 움직인다는 연계가 어떻게 움직여서 이 지상과의 관계를 맺어나가는 전반적인 이런 내용을 모르고는 그래서 확실히 알 수 없다는 거예요.
Without understanding the relationship between spiritual world and the physical world and their interaction, their give and take, there are so many things people would never understand without having that basic fundamental understanding.
연계라 하게 되면 선한 연계, 악한 연계.
When we say spirit world, there are two types of spirit world. One is good spirit world, and the other is evil spirit world.
그것은 실제 하는 세계. 여러분들이 지상 세계 사람들은 모르지만 확실히 있는 세계라고.
But the important thing is this: that world or the reality is there. You know, people just don't perceive it, but it's the reality is there.
그러면 연계에서 선한 영들과 악한 영들이 이것이 좀 연계수 투쟁하고 연계수 투쟁이 있다 하는 걸 알아야 돼.
I want you to also understand, even spirit world, there's a struggle going between good spirit and evil spirit.
그러면 선한 영은 악한 영을 선도해 가지고 좋은 곳으로 데려가려고 악한 영은 선한 영을 어떻게든지 그 좋은 곳에 못 가게 막으려고 하는 싸움을 계속합니다.
Good spirit trying to influence the evil spirit, they're trying to bring them into good spirit. And the evil spirit trying to influence the other way around, they bring the good spirit into evil spirit.
그러면 그 이블 스피릿, 사탄을 중심 삼아 가지고 이블 스피릿은 연결되어 있는데 그 이블 스피릿 그 통치권 내에 오늘날 지구성의 인간상들이 있다는 걸 여러분 알죠?
So then that evil spirit has a certain power of influence, dominion over physical world, and under which we, physical world, and people live in the earth plane, are influenced by it.
그러냐 지금까지 간 선조들은 선한 영이나 악한 영이나 전부 다 연계가 있기 때문에 그 선한 영도 살아간 세계에 있어서 구별된 하나 이 땅 위에 조건을 세워가지고 하나의 성별됐던 구별됐던 조건을 세워가지고 선한 편에 서 있는 것이 이것이 완전히 하나님으로 보게 될 때에 완전한 선의 자리에 서 있지 못할 거야.
But even if the good spirit and spirit world, none of them are perfect. They're just conditioned to be allowed to be in a good side. But none of those spirits are perfected because they never have a chance to be perfected while they were here on earth.
그러면 하나님의 번원에 타락력 번원의 인간에 갈 수 있는 이상적 선권을 향해 가지고 지금 가고 있는데 선한 영들 그것으로 전진하려고 하고 이 악한 영들 그걸 막고 있다.
So, however, the good spirit is making a unified effort to bring the world and the influence over to the good side in the ultimate goal. But the evil spirit forces are trying to block it.
자 그러면 이블 사이드, 이블 스피리트 월드하고 이블 월드는 것은 무시로 통합니다. 무시로 연락돼.
But then, evil world has advantage because evil spirit world and a physical evil world has unlimited communication. They're always back and forth. They can communicate.
선한 영은 이블 세계에 있어서 이 악한 세계에서 대립대가 돼가지고 반대받는 자리에서 살다간 영이 소외가 그것은 종교를 믿고 간 영님들이 하는 걸 여러분 알아야 돼요. 종교.
Good spirit in the spirit world are those who live good life, religious life here on earth, God-centered life here on earth. Those are in the category of the good spirit in spirit world.
그러면 예수 그리스도 같은 양반이 이 땅을 와가지고 뭘 했냐면은 사탄을 굴복시키고 악한 이 영의 대표를 굴복시킬 수 있는 도리와 길을 닦아줬다. 그런데 그 도리를 100% 닦아야 할 텐데 50%밖에 못 닦았기 때문에 다시 와야 된다 하는 말도 성립됩니다.
So Christianity can be interpreted this way. Jesus Christ came to this earth to save. What does it mean? To transform the mankind so that they can live good life, so that they can enter into the good spirit world. But however, that mission has not been done completely. It's only probably up to 50%. That's why he must come again.
하나님은 이 타락한 세계 구원하기 위해서 종교를 세워가지고는 이 사탄 세계에 바치되어 있는데 그럼 예를 들면 성경을 보면 이제 돌감나무가 있는데 그 사탄에서 관리하는 돌감나무인데 하나님이 마음대로 할 수 있는 돌감나무 밭을 만드는 것이 종교다 이걸 알아야 돼요.
So it's almost like a farming. Spirit world, they're trying to farm the earth plane. There is one farm, wild olive tree farm, governed by the evil spirit. Evil spirit to come in wild. And there's a good spirit to come sort of a cultivate olive tree, you know, so that they can control, dominion over those two different types of farms.
저쪽에는 사탄이 마음대로 관리하고 하나님이 관리할 것이 하나도 없다고. 그래서 종교를 통해서 사탄이 관리할 수 있는 감람나무 밭을 사탄 편이지만은 사탄이 관리할 수 있는 감람나무 밭을 만들어가지고 확대해가지고 세계 사탄권 악한 감람나무 권내에 그것을 능가할 수 있는 기반을 확대하기 위한 것이 종교 문화권을 가려야 돼. 종교 문화권.
See, the world has been fallen, so gone into the evil spirit, evil dominion. But then God is through the saints, you know, the good people, and they're trying to cultivate, carve out certain wild olive tree, but still can come under, you know, God's domain or the good spirit domain.
그러면 하나님은 사탄한테 지금까지 창조세계 전부 다 빼앗긴 있다는 것을 하나님이 줄 수 없기 때문에 이 세상에 창감나무 하나의 표본을 보내자 하는 것이 이것이 메시아 사상이라고.
So then God is always thinking to bring this wild olive tree, transform them into a true olive tree. In order to do that, God has been always thinking there must be one central, the model or the example or the seed of the true olive tree. That is the messianic concept.
그 메시아닉 컨셉인데 그 트루 올리브 트리도 그 메시아 혼자 와가지고 안 돼. 사탄 세계가 부부를 중심 삼고 전부 사회를 이루고 국가를 이루기 때문에 메시아가 와가지고 할 것은 뭐냐면 메시아 혼자 가져가지고는 창감나무는 어떤 거예요? 메시아 창감나무와 메시아 상대되는 창감나무를 중심 삼아 가져가지고 이것이 돼야만 창감나무에 노름한다. 열매를 맺을 수 있다 그야.
Even though the Messiah come, and the Messiah all by himself would not fulfill his mission. And a Messiah need a support. First of all, the support of pair, you know, the pair system and the many good spirits.
그래서 예수님은 이 땅에 와가지고 신랑으로 와가지고 신부를 찾아가지고 창감나무 밭을 만들어가지고 사탄 세계의 거짓 감단나무를 전부 다 흡수소화할 수 있게 전부 잘라버려가지고 접붙이는 운동을 준비하려 가기 때문에 하나님이 관리하는 종교권 기독교를 중심 삼고 일시에 전부 다 잘라가지고 접붙일 수 있는 환경을 만드는 것이 선민 이스라엘 권이요 유대교였다 하는 걸 여러분 알아야 돼요.
So Jesus Christ came as a true olive tree, or in the concept of bridegroom. So he will take a bride. What the bride, the relation with the bridegroom, is grafting process. You know, like a true olive tree, you know, grafted into wild olive tree, cut all the wild olive tree, the grafting process, and converted into true olive tree. That was the whole concept of the Christianity.
그래프팅 하려면 어딜 짜리야? 노가리 짜리야 되나? 다리 짜리야 되나?
So, in order to grafting into the new olive tree, where do they cut? Where do they have to cut? It's the neck or feet or what? Where should be cut to be grafted?
루트는 나에게.
But if you cut the root, then it's dead. It dries up.
사람의 모가지 깎으로 정신이 뿌리가 됐기 때문에 깎을 때 모가지 짜려.
So in a way, you know, the root is okay. Just cut the neck and have a new head. Bring a new head.
정신이 뿌리가 됐다.
Because our true root is the spiritual root.
그래서 뭐냐면
That has been wrong.
예수의 창감나무가 가지고 순 하나 긋다가 그거 참 자른 데가 하나 박아나면 거기서 이제 창감나무가 되는 거야 이제.
So then,
붙이는 일체를 성경이 가르쳤어요.
new seed or new what they call bud of a true olive tree is planted into that old root. You know, they cut and they plant into it. That we call grafting process. That's exactly what
그래가지고 뭐냐면 벌레가 돌감나무가 될 때 창감나무로 타락했으면 태어났듯인데 돌감나무가 되기 때문에 이 돌감나무를 전부 다 접붙여가지고 창감나무 열매 맺게 하기 위한 돌이키는 역사가 구원역사다. 그렇기 때문에 구원역사는 번역사는 복귀역사를 하는 거예요, 여러분의 복귀역사.
So, originally, we were supposed to be born as a true olive tree. But because of the fall, we all became a wild olive tree. So we have to, going through the grafting process, transferring to the true olive tree, we have to cut ourselves, and upon our root, the new seed or new bud must be planted.
자, 그러면 이제 하나님의 성도를 시켜가지고 전부 털끝난 걸 자르는 거야. 자르라고.
So God is cutting all the wild olive tree in order to have a grafting process.
그러면 그 밭이 하나님 관리하는 밭이지 사탄한테 밭에 관리하는 밭이라면 어느 것들이에요?
But then, that wild olive tree farm is controlled by Satan. The God, when going in and trying to cut the wild olive tree, Satan won't let him. Will not let him. No way to come near.
박해에서는 반드시 탕감 조건을 세워야 하는 그 조건들을 개개인을 통해 세워서 개개인 탕감 조건을 세계사적이야. 세계사적이야.
So, in order to be able to approach the wild olive tree, God's side has to pay certain conditions, certain strategies, certain containment strategies, so that Satan would permit.
하나하나 할 수 없다. 하나하나 따르는데 그렇게 조건이 걸려있다는 거지.
But one by one, every single one has certain conditions.
그러니까 하나님이 밭을만 선민을 맨 구별해가지고 이스라엘 해간내가지고 큰 밭을 내가지고 한꺼번에 가지고 후루룩 따들어도 사탄이 참수할 수 없는 환경을 열어내가지고 메시아를 보내가지고 접붙해가지고 메시아 종자 새끼들을 만들어 놓자. 그럼 되는 거지.
The best would be that God will own the farm. Even the wild tree, olive tree itself is a wild one. But at least God will control the farm, a large farm, and plant lots of wild olive trees. Then in that case, nobody is disturbing it, so you can cut completely, wipe it off. Then plant, all the grass.
비정교계하고 넘어가는 데가 언제나 혈투전이 피를 흘리는 날이 벌어져.
That's the concept of chosen nation. And therefore, from a non-religious sphere to the religious sphere, the transfer from one sphere to the other is always a bloody battle. Always a bloody battle.
그래서 재물이라는 것은 구약시대는 전부 다 재물시대고 예수님은 구약시대는 물건을 통한 재물시대, 신약시대는 아들을 통한 재물시대, 성약시대는 사랑을 희생시키는 재물시대.
So we need to have a certain offering in the religious process. The Old Testament era, there was the material offering set the condition. New Testament era, through the physical person of Son of God, that's the physical, offering.
그러면 성약시대는 부모가
But then our era is the new era, that is the completed Testament era. Then this time, true parents
사랑의 십자가를 지고
bearing the cross and set the condition for the mankind.
그래서 그러면 이제 사랑 문제를 중심 삼아가지고 세계의 모든 전부를 정리해가지고 굴복시킬 수 있는 관이세, 개인관, 가정관, 건족관, 민족관, 국가관, 세계관 이런 세계를 지켜하고 남을 수 있는 관을 가져야 할 것이 통일 원리에 통한 우리 아침에 이런 사랑 이상이라는 얘기예요.
There must be certain concept, there must be certain principle of love by which we can move on to grafting process of the mankind. This is what we call unification concept, unification principle or divine principle.
왜 그래야 되느냐?
Why should we do this?
사탄 세계의 사랑으로 말미암아 씨를 뿌렸으니 이것을 탕감하기 위해서는 하나님 세계의 사랑을 가져가지고 탕감해야 한다.
So, because Satan planted satanic love, it seeded all the satanic love. The only way we can restore this satanic love by planting heavenly love or true love.
그래서 오늘 통일교회는 이거 축복 가정이라는 뭐냐면 참부모의 사랑 이상을 중심 삼은 탕감 기반 후에 새로운 접붙해 가져가지고 에덴 동산에서 완성한 아담 해와의 그런 결실을 가져오는 탕감나무의 자리에 나가는 것이 오늘 통일교회의 축복의 행사다. 이거라고 해요.
The unification church therefore has mass wedding, holy wedding. What is that? Holy wedding is in a way the grafting process. You are separate yourself from the satanic world, graft into the true parents' true family. True parents' family. You become a part of an extension of the true parent.
살아가면 말이야 무엇이냐? 트루 페런트가 아니고 배드 페런트, 트루 브라더가 아니고 배드 브라더, 트루 트라이브가 아니고 배드 파이, 배드 네이션, 배드 월드가 됐다 말이야. 그러니까 이 반대로 그 주인이 와가지고 해야 할 것은 트루 페런트가 아니고 트루 칠드를 만들고 트루 트라이브를 만들고 트루 네이션, 트루 월드를 만들어가지고 사탄 세계를 완전히 소화하게 될 때 그때부터 이상 세계로 넘어가는 것이다. 인류 세계와 공산 세계는 예수님을 중심삼고 오른편 강도와 같은 왼편 강도와 같은 세계사적인 열매 맺음을 싸우는 거예요. 이거. 마지막까지.
What is the fall of man? You know, evil has been planted. So the evil parent coming, and instead of true parent, false parent. Instead of true brother and sister, false brother and sister. Instead of true family and a false family. So we have to change over the gravity into true family, true parent, true brother, true sister. Like almost the time of cross, there was two thieves, one on the left, one on the right. In the worldwide basis also. This one is false, the other is true.
트루 이거 지적이에요. 트루 이제 뭐 여전히 우리 한국애들은 러브 뭐저 레이스라고 그랬단 말이야. 이 트루 레이스를 되기 위해서는 완전히 사탄 사랑과 인연이 없고 하나님 사랑과 인연 가진 내용으로부터 출발할 것이 본래의 뜻이기 때문에 그런 관계의 자리에 서지 않거든 난 언제나 사탄이 끌고 간다. 사탄 거든.
So I want you to understand. Therefore, unless we therefore cut our relationship with the satanic world and make a new relationship with the true parent. And the other day, Father already announced that we become a new race. We call it love race or Adam race. These are the name of our race. So that we already, extinguish ourselves, cut ourselves off the bad root.
아담 베이스의 전통적 내용이 뭐냐? 하나님의 사랑을 중심 삼고 참부모의 문화를 연결시키는 것이다.
So what is the tradition of Adam? That is truly inherit God's tradition and plug themselves into the true parent
하나님의 사랑을 중심삼은
and centered upon the love of God and become a part of the true parent tradition. That is
사랑 문화.
that is
하나님과 참부모를 중심하면 사랑 문화권이다.
So we are going to create the new cultural era or cultural sphere. That's the centered upon the love of God and a true parent tradition. We are creating a sort of like a new culture race. We are creating.
알겠어? 무슨 말인지?
Do you follow?
하나님의 사랑과 참부모의 사랑을 중심하면 문화다. 그 문화가
our culture
이상적으로 찾아올 수 있는 상천계의 문화가 될 것이고 역사 모든 영원 불변하게 이어받을 수 있는 하나의 전통 문화가 되실 것인데 하나가 잃어버렸기 때문에 이것을 다시 복귀해서 찾아가는 것이 구원역사다.
So our culture is a culture, God-centered culture, true parent-centered culture. That is our culture. That was supposed to be that way from the very beginning, but it was lost. Therefore, we must restore that culture.
자, 하나님의 사랑을 중심삼고는 전부 다 형제이기 때문에 거기는 흑인도 없고 백인도 없고, 거기는 과거 사람도 없고 현재 사람도 없고 그렇기 때문에 영주와 육주가 통하는 거예요.
In love of God, there's no racism. The black, white, yellow. That is not there. In love of God, there's no such a thing. Black love, white love, yellow love. They're all one. Furthermore, there is also no past, present, future. Timeless. For that reason, in that culture, we can communicate with the spirit world, limitless.
우리 판교교인들 중삼아가지고 전부 다 흑인 백인 해가지고 그것을 사랑으로 그것을 전부 다 소화시킬 수 있는 가리에만 나거든 사탄권내를 아직까지 벗어나지 못하고 있다는 사실을 알아야 돼. 이것은 아직까지 창감남나무의 열매가 아니라 돌감남나무의 진액을 이어받아가지고 돌감남나무 진액받아서 그 열매는 돌감남나무 열매가 된다.
So you must decide where do you belong, what kind of olive tree you are. You are still hesitating in the wild olive tree stage, hesitating to be cut and grafted into true olive tree, or you already transferred your citizenship.
앞으로의 토일교회 문화는 뭐냐?
And in the future, what is going to be Unification Church culture?
그게 뭐냐면 하나님을 중심하는 사랑 문화요.